check the mic, 1, 2. SNX radio, typical skeptic crew. Friday night, we're back in the booth, dropping truth bombs, igniting the proof.
Robin Coley, cosmic collision, unidentified open transmission. From Area 51 to Skinwalker Ranch, declassify the files, give truth a chance. Bass drum thumping, a sonic boom, we're breaking down the walls of every room. Skeptical minds unite tonight, underneath the stars bathed in moonlight. Truth serum flowing through the veins, open your mind, break the chains. Question everything, challenge the norm, ride the cosmic wave, weather the storm. Truth serum flowing, take a dose, unravel the secrets, expose what's closed. Join the movement, the skeptical quest for the hidden knowledge put to the test.
Cryptids creeping in the shadows deep, ancient mysteries, secrets they keep. Bigfoot's footprints, Loch Ness's grace, unexplained phenomena, time and space.
We're chasing ghosts with EMF readers, searching for answers, cosmic leaders, digging for the truth beneath the surface, uncover the lies with the lyrical purpose. Truth serum flowing through the veins, open your mind, break the chains, question everything, challenge the known, ride the cosmic wave, weather the storm. Truth serum flowing, take a dose, unravel the secrets, expose what's closed. Join the movement, the skeptical quest for the hidden knowledge put to the test.
From Roswell crashes to ancient lore, we're exploring the unknown and so much more. Conspiracy theories, twisted and true, uncover the answers, me and you.
Truth serum flowing through the veins, open your mind, break the chains, question everything, challenge the norm, ride the cosmic wave, weather the storm. Truth serum flowing, take a dose, unravel the secrets, expose what's closed. Join the movement, the skeptical quest for the hidden knowledge put to the test.
SNX and typical skeptics sign off. Keep searching for truth, turn the lights off, I'll keep them on, whatever you choose. Just keep questioning, never lose that skeptical spark, that curious fire. Explore the unknown, take it higher.
Out in the dark, the stars align. Ooh yeah, signals flashing, the secret sign. Sasquatch whispers, UFOs glide. Mysteries unfold, can't hide, can't hide. Voices in the static calling me, calling me. A cosmic rhythm setting me free. SNX, feel the vibe, let it flow. Connections glowing, don't you know? SNX, light the night, let it show. Cosmic groove, we're ready to go. In the woods, shadows move, move. Skyline flickers, it's a neon groove. Expert stories witness sight, unravel truth in the cosmic light. Voices in the static calling me, calling me. A cosmic rhythm setting me free. SNX, feel the vibe, let it flow. Connections glowing, don't you know? SNX, light the night, let it show. Cosmic groove, we're ready to go.
Hello Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of SNX Radio and Typical Skeptic Podcast. I'm Coley, as you know, and tonight we have Rob from Typical Skeptic Podcast right next to me. And I'm going to go ahead and keep dropping the links live. So I'm going to hand it over to Rob.
Hey, guys. I'm glad everybody came back for the second show, and we're glad to have you here tonight. Remember to subscribe to, follow Coley on Twitter or X. I keep saying Twitter, and then also follow Coley on her her YouTube channel. Follow me on YouTube. I'm at Typical Skeptic Podcast 2.0 because, the first channel got taken down. And then I'm also Typical Skeptic Podcast on Rumble. We have an amazing guest for you guys tonight. You guys are really going to be psyched for this. We have with us Jeff MacBurnie. He was featured on Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. He's the owner and operator of the Mount Wilson Ranch, a hotspot for paranormal phenomena in the American West. For over 15 years, Jeff and his partner, Nick Knack, have managed the property while encountering everything from UFO activity to cryptid sightings and unexplainable high strangeness. He's a feature figure on Beyond Skinwalker Ranch and has appeared on shows like Ghost Adventures and Sam and Colby, Legends of the Paranormal. Originally from Toms River, New Jersey, Jeff has become a respected, experienced investigator, sharing his ranch's anomalous history with the world. His work bridges cryptids, ufology, and the paranormal, continuing the legacy of the mysterious ranch phenomena that fascinate researchers and fans alike. Tonight, Jeff joins me, myself, Rob, of the Typical Skeptic Podcast, and Coley of SNX Radio for an in-depth conversation on cryptids, paranormal encounters, and the real mysteries unfolding behind Skinwalker Ranch and also at his Mount Wilson Ranch. And with all that said, I'd like to give him a big warm welcome to the show for the first time. Jeff, thank you so much for coming on. How are you? Can you hear us? Jeff, are you there?
I think we lost him. He's out of the back room, so he should probably be coming back here shortly. I don't know what I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. I promise it's not me. I do. But yeah, he got kicked off.
So, while we're waiting for Jeff to come back, this has nothing to do with Coley. This has everything to do with StreamYard, And like I said, my audience knows this because they see I have issues with StreamYard too. So this is par far with StreamYard. So, you just got to deal with it, But we're looking into other options. I'm looking into Restream and Evox, two different streaming platforms that might be a little bit better because, this is unacceptable,
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Jeff, can you hear us? Are you there?
Hello there, guys. I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Wow. Thank you so much.
How about you guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good. Thank you so much for coming on. I wanted to ask you, how did this all start for you? How did your quest begin, and how did you end up owning the Mount Wilson Ranch?
Of course, as soon as we went live, the normal thing.
Yeah. I think we have a little bit of a delay too.
Jeff, are you able to hear us?
If you can hear me.
Oh gosh,
yes, I
what
can.
is
You're
going
clicking
on?
in and out. Yeah, as soon as the podcast. Well, this is normal around here, so I don't know if it's on my end or your end.
I think it's StreamYard. It could be the psychic energy. Sometimes psychic energy builds up and it causes interference with electronics and stuff.
It's weird that Rob and I can hear each other. So are you able to hear us clear now, Jeff? I'm going to see if I can. I don't know if I can do anything in the background right now, but
now you are back. I can hear you guys perfectly.
Perfect. Awesome.
Right. Okay. Well, let's just start from the beginning. Thanks again, Jeff, for coming on. If you can hear me, we really are honored to have you here. And we just wanted to ask you first to start off, how did this all start for you? How did you end up getting the Mount Wilson Ranch, and then eventually end up getting featured on Skinwalker Ranch? Where does your journey begin?
So basically, 19 years ago, I read an article in a small newspaper, 25-cent little listing. It listed this place as including this saloon I'm sitting in. It listed a Knott's Berry style saloon, hotel rooms, a lot of just an interesting sounding property. I read that started the journey.
Wow, that's interesting. And when did you start realizing that it wasn't a normal saloon, that there was a lot more going on there than what you had probably imagined?
Well, so basically, I bought this right from Robert Lowe himself.
Wow.
When I was in the purchase process, it was a long process, basically, because it was a cash deal only, and I didn't have the entire cash to buy a place like this. So we interviewed. I called it the interview process. 4 different times I met with Mr. Bigelow. On the 4th time, he agreed to finance and make this purchase possible. He did tell me things about the ranch, but nothing that at that point in time, 19 years ago, I would have truly believed.
Wow. And then you started experiencing them for yourself, I'm guessing, and like things got weird, I'm guessing.
A lot of the guests and friends that would come would experience visits in the middle of the night, visits during the day, entities. It sounds like this is what actually inspired Mr. Bigelow to sell this place. He had a bad visit on one of his last visits here, and the order to scuttle everything here, bury everything was given. They buried everything, and they put this place up for sale.
Yeah. Where is this located, and do you see parallels to Skinwalker Ranch? Yeah.
I mean, we were purchased before Skinwalker Ranch. We have a lot of pictures of the different scientists that have been here over, during the years when Mr. Bigelow owned this place. Do we have similarities? Yes, we have a lot of similarities. We have a lot of things that were.
Oh, shoot, we lost him.
Sounds like he's froze. Oh, here he is. I think he's back on.
I do not know if you guys can still hear me.
We can hear you now.
But we do have a lot of similarities to Skinwalker Ranch. Light phenomenon. Are we all back together again?
Yes, we're good.
Okay. So yes, there's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of things that are definitely different. We have a lot of buildings here that are modernized, hotels, this saloon, a big main building with kitchens in there. Exactly what's underneath of us, we don't know. We've been digging. We've been blowing up things. We've been basically disturbing the land, where right today, as of this point, I've pulled back on anything. What did you say? That we're tearing up the land. We actually stopped. We had one of these things happen where we just stopped everything for now.
Yeah. And do you have a theory as to what might be causing the underlying activity?
From the different investigations, from the crew that came with Beyond Skinwalker, it's sounding like there is a giant anomaly underneath of the meadow in front of our settler's house, buried. It sounds like it's at least 500 feet by 500 feet by 500 feet, embedded down in the actual fault line. It emits a signal. It receives signals. Of our psychics and the people that reach to things,
So yeah, Jeff's might be. I wonder what's going on there. That's so crazy. But we'll just wait for him to get back on. He's definitely froze.
Yeah,
unsure if you guys. Oh, is this happening on all of our lines?
No, Rob and I seem to be okay. So I don't understand what's going on.
you wouldn't believe what I'm watching on my screen here. I mean, you guys are both, one of you goes into glitch and turns into something that doesn't look normal.
Really?
Pretty
Wow.
wild. You wouldn't even believe what's happening on my end. Yeah. Coley,
Wow.
you just looked unbelievable. You were crazy looking just a second ago. And Rob, you were perfect. You look absolutely normal there. I'm like, what is going on here? So I'm just sitting here watching you. This, like, what am I looking at? Anyway, yes, there is the frequencies and the signals and whatever we are encountering, whenever these crews come around and whenever the investigations and people are digging in, it really turns the energy up at the ranch here. What exactly it is, we're still working on it. We have a few of the people that are behind the scenes that work with me directly that are, they're involved with Skinwalker Ranch. They are around, they'll eventually let you guys know, what they're doing here, but very, very, very similar to what is going on at Skinwalker Ranch. We just have been, we're nervous to turn into a place like Skinwalker Ranch. This was my personal property. I bought this to enjoy it. Now that let's say my children are getting old enough to let this reality out to people and bring people in to help us to try to figure out exactly what this is what we're kind of doing. We've gone beyond the television and we've gone into, YouTube people, just individuals, groups that investigate paranormal, connections between the paranormal, the Bigfoot, the extraterrestrial, the cryptids. We seem to have everything going on here in that sense. Meanwhile,
sorry, go ahead, Coley. Go
no,
ahead.
I was going to say, meanwhile, we know nothing. That would be about the easiest ways I could put it.
Wow. Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, like, that's so fascinating that all this is going on. What type of activity are you having that you would say, like, hey, we're going to pause stuff for right now, or what type of activity is going on there?
Well, I'm going to give you a story. We all have our little stories. Everybody would come here and tell me their story. Well, 6 months ago, we had the best thing ever happen, which was an answer. We've been asking a lot of questions as we do different seances and different procedures here, things that are going on. So in our conscious, we've been asking for answers. And I got a direct message. I had a voice come clearly through my head telling me to go find it on one morning. I went out, curiously questioning what this go find it meant. I come back up to the upper part of the property. This time the voice is crystal clear, even louder, to the point where I reached, looked up into the sky and said, go find what? I go for a walk around the property again. I find this beautiful coin laying on the ground. After it had rained that night, the coin, again, my eyes aren't the best these days, so I walk up to the upper buildings where Nick Nack is hanging out. She reads the coin and it reads off AUS, so it was Australian, just laying on the property. The coincidence with this whole incident was 2 hours from that moment, 2 women from Australia who had booked with me 5 months in advance were arriving at the ranch. So this coin, Australian, is just sitting on my property, 100 plus acres, and I go and find it after a voice directs me to go find it. That's all, all coincidence, right? But then the women get here, and their story about this coin was incredible because they had 3 gifts for us. 2 of them were paintings. One of them is on our back wall over here in the saloon now from the natives from Australia. Another one is from the elders. They actually sent paintings to us from Australia for some reason, but they also brought a collection of change, all the denominations of the Australian currency. But they were missing, as they figured out, the 10-cent piece in this collection. So the one sister had asked the other sister if she had one in her wallet. It proceeds into a little argument because the one sister mixes her Australian and American money together. They pull this 10-cent piece out. It proceeds to pop out of her hand, rolls under the bed at the Palazzo Casino in Las Vegas. Each of them reached under there to get it. They couldn't find it. They made a joke of it now. Just leave it as a tip. That coin went through what, again, there's more to this, but Mr. Bigelow told me there was a portal on the property. That thing dropped right through the portal and actually was told to me in my head and dropped right here on the property.
Wow.
Specifically that morning when those ladies.
That's so interesting.
So that is what put me on pause, because that was so direct and so exact. No coincidences. If we called it coincidences, there was 50 plus different things that went together to make that happen.
Wow. And I wanted to ask you, are there any other legends or history that is like associated with the property that you were able to dig up?
I am sorry about this connection because this is terrible.
Oh God. Can you hear me, Jeff?
Man, a portal. That's insane.
I don't think he can hear us. This is a great interview, though. I mean, besides like the connection issues, this is
see or hear you guys if you can hear me.
We can hear you now.
Man, I can't even. I think he's lost him. He's so fascinating. I hope that it comes to, but I just don't understand why Daryl and now him that it's doing this. It's just insane. So we'll see. Hopefully he can come back.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like a really interesting price. I had never heard of it before tonight. I didn't see his episode where he was featured on Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, but it sounds amazing. Like, I'd love to go check this place out. Like,
for sure. I'm just wondering how Robert Bigelow goes. Okay, here, I'm gonna pull him back on. He jumped out. There we go. Because it shows he's coming back on the stage, but
yeah, it's just spinning in circles. It's like,
and I would say that it was a connection, but you and I are fine. I would think that it would affect us, but I don't understand. Let's see if I can get him back on. There we go. Perfect.
This is the normal around here. I'm sorry about that, guys. Yes.
Oh, do you think it's the entities that they're messing with it? Do you think that it has something to do with it, Jeff?
It's so common. Yes, it happens a lot around here. We have a lot of energy losses, especially when we're doing things like this, when we're talking about whatever this is. And this was exact.
Wow. I find this fascinating. Coley had a question about Robert Bigelow. Did you want to go with that, Coley?
I was just so curious as to Robert, because he had the Skinwalker Ranch. How was he finding locations? Because you said before about a portal, which I find fascinating. And just knowing some of the work that he's done. How do you think, what is that he then went out after he sold you this and then purchased Skinwalker Ranch? Do you think it was like this? I know the Skinwalker was the Thurman Ranch before, but I'm just curious your thoughts on that.
Well, he purchased this, and then he purchased Skinwalker Ranch about 2 weeks after he purchased this ranch. He had most of his scientists, the original NIDS, were actually at Mount Wilson Ranch before they even went to Sherman/Skinwalker Ranch. A lot of the equipment that was at Mount Wilson Ranch, like let's say the D9 Caterpillar that was buried to its seat at this ranch, that's now at Skinwalker Ranch. So there was a lot of stuff done here, but everything was directed that it was going on at Skinwalker Ranch.
Wow.
Kind of like they just had two things going on, but, they pushed one more than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have we've found, a lot of people have been reaching out to us. We have a lot of images of people in our meadow, working out there. Hal Putoff, Dr. Tim Ryan, Jacques Vallée, Eric. There's just a lot of Colm Keller. Whatever they were doing here, apparently Mr. Bigelow let it out on a Jeffrey Mishlove podcast where, there's some sort of a laboratory here. Exactly where it is. We're looking. That's what we're looking to get underground for. It sounds like there's something under here that they were actually accessing and going to.
Wow, that's fascinating. One thing I wanted to ask you, Jeff.
So that would be the answer, Coley. Basically.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Jeff. We have a delay.
So you think that Robert Bigelow, when they were there and Nids was there? No, I was just going to say, do you think that there's an underground laboratory there? Do you think that they didn't tell you where it was, or do you? I mean, that's crazy. That's fascinating, but just unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of things leading to, and we've been told, once we access this, to be careful, get on your respirators, get on your hazmat suits. We're fully, we've been told that it's here. It's just a matter of finding where the entrance is, how bad or what they did to actually cover it up or scuttle it or bury it. It sounds like it could be the equivalent of an elevator shaft.
Wow. So it could be like an elevator shaft to inner Earth or something like that. Maybe, Did you ever think about that? That it could go much deeper into the inner Earth or something like that?
Can you guys? Did you guys? In watching the Beyond Skinwalker, we excavated a hole that had showed up after some heavy snows and melting, and in this hole was many pieces of military equipment, old Jeeps, a lot of dewatering devices, pumps, things to actually take large volumes of water out of something. Wow. Huge trucks, just a lot don't make sense. And we still have them all on property, and a lot of them are military colors, military axles, and we've been told now that this stuff, there was an exact day that after Mr. Bigelow encountered an entity that is now noted as the shaman of this property. Get off this property. And Mr. Bigelow does not talk about this at all to the general public.
You're right about that. That is so true too. And I wondered why when I started finding and coming upon your stuff. I was
about
very
this connection on my end, or I guess it's my end.
I don't. Gosh,
There's a delay. Yeah, it happens on StreamYard, but I think it's the energy in his property too. I think it's like both. It's like a bad combo for hopefully he comes back. But
I can hear. Can you guys hear me? I can hear you guys.
Yeah. Sorry, Cole. Go ahead, Cole. You were taking on something interesting there.
No, I was just saying that when I was going through it, I found it's so fascinating that your ranch that he doesn't really mention it. Yes. No, I was just saying, Jeff, I found it so fascinating when I was doing research on all this that I couldn't believe that your ranch wasn't really mentioned, or I was wondering what the deal was behind it. Why is it? You said he doesn't talk about it publicly.
Glitch, if you can hear me.
Oh yeah, Rob, go ahead. I'll skip past that one.
Can you hear me, Jeff? Can you hear me, Jeff?
He won't even talk about it to anybody. Yeah, we've had a lot of people. I could barely hear you guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. If you can hear us, go ahead. Because you were.
Right,
I think we have a real long delay, Jeff. Once you get this, you can just. We may have to call this one and do it and reschedule it. I don't know what else to do.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Yeah, and it's weird because you think if there was a connection that you and I would be glitching too, and I haven't lost you at all through all of this. So yeah. I don't know.
I don't think it's our connection. I think it has something to do with the property, which makes sense if there's a lot of like high energy there and stuff. Which I find fascinating. By the way, like
yeah.
What's weird is I hadn't heard of this place, so it's like. It's yeah. Can you hear us now, Jeff?
There he is. He just popped in. It's weird. He just went from one side of the stage to the other. It's like, Jeff, can you hear us okay? Man, we have to have him back on if this because this is like so beyond fascinating.
We need to maybe we need to meet with him beforehand and establish a good connection somehow And this StreamYard's done after this. StreamYard is done because this is ridiculous. People in the audience said that they're they realize it might be his property, it might be the energy there. So it's like our audience understands too. It's not anything our fault, guys. So. To the guy that left that rude comment on Facebook, it's like
who was it? I'll find him.
Go fuck off, buddy. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's like.
They're always doing something, and people don't understand. It's like I think that maybe there's a two-part to it, but it's. I've never seen it like this, but you and I would be glitching because you're not logged into the main account. So that wouldn't even make sense how you're coming in on the same link that they would be coming in on. So it doesn't make any sense why that would even be happening like that. But yeah, he's completely cut from the back. But oh my gosh, there's so much there to unpack. And there's so much like with that I'm fascinated. I mean, a portal.
And the story with the coin, I mean, it's like it's all like it's amazing, It's like, and what's why I wonder why Robert Bigelow doesn't talk about it. I think you were hitting on something there,
And everything that I know about Robert Bigelow, and I followed this pretty closely, especially over on X. And I'm sure the X community, you guys chime in on this. Click on the video, and you can go ahead and comment because I remember following it very closely when all this stuff was going on and Bass and where he's located. But how do you find two ranches with this kind of activity when you're not looking for him? Or is he creating the activity on the ranch? That's what I'm wondering.
Or is he just really searching? Is he like really searching for this stuff? Like maybe we don't know that he's like, you know what I mean? Like investing millions of dollars to find these places and like,
sure.
Because he has, Bigelow. Do you remember when Bigelow did that study on consciousness where he was like paying people for like near-death experience studies? Do you remember when he did that?
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, it was like he's like really like for some reason fascinated with this stuff.
Wow. Hi, Jeff. Are you able to hear us yet, or hopefully? Oh gosh, I feel absolutely horrible. This is it for StreamYard. We're gonna go with something else because this is, and like I said, I don't know if it's a ranch or what's going on, but I'm almost a little worried to find out what the heck's going on here.
It was a rough night. We had problems with Daryl Denton too, with he couldn't hear us. It's like I feel like maybe we're getting messed with or something. That's what it sounds like. That could be a third option, that this is some kind of weird targeting or something like that, because it's just weird that we had problems like both shows, and we haven't had any problems up to this point. Every show we've done,
no,
like, so
yeah, that is weird. But I think Daryl might have been too, because he was traveling. He was like going 700 miles, and then he came. So I don't think I'm just wondering if that. I don't know. But it is weird back to back, and we've not had any issues like this. And I had to stream like this last time, so I wouldn't even think that was the case. But hi, Jeff, are you back? No. And I, like I said, we're going to go with a different streaming service. If anybody in the chat knows of one that's more reliable, because StreamYard's just been wonky lately.
Yeah, we got to check out a couple. It was, yeah.
Yeah. We'll have it taken care of, though, by next weekend, because this is, I felt this is like one of, I mean, both interviews, not just this one, but this one too. Like, there's so much to unpack in this portal. And, you know, you got NIDS like Dr. Hal Putoff and all of these people that, I mean, they're pretty big in like the TTSA, if you know who they are, and the disclosure. I'm just wondering what the heck they got going on here. I really am.
The audience says it's all good. We should just do an audience, like a hangout with everyone. You know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that. That would be awesome. I'm game. You can see the chat. That's the only thing that I can't see on my end because, oh, here he is. But I everything else is just fine. So, oh, there he is.
Jason says they got strange entity voices at 28 minutes of our podcast, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Jeff. Are you able to hear us yet? Oh, we can't hear him now. I wonder if he has his mic. I would love to, if somebody could clip that and leave it for Rob or I would love to hear what's going on, and I can jot that down too. But if you guys have it, go ahead and clip that and let us know. Because there's something going on. Even Daryl didn't disappear like this nonstop. I mean, you know, with everything that was going on. But yeah, wow.
No, you know, it's a shame, you know.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, because I keep trying to add him back onto the stage. I can see that he's popping in and out. I've never seen anything like this to this extent on StreamYard at all. Like, I've never seen anything like this. But I don't know if you have, Rob, but I have not. There he is.
No dice.
Oh, there he is. I can hear something. Jeff, are you able to hear us okay? Are you back on, or? And I don't know if he can hear us, Jeff. What we could do too is we could reschedule you if that would work out better. And I mean, if we have to go with a different streaming service, we'd be more than happy to do that. We're going to do that anyway by next week. StreamYard, I'm going to see you much later. You're done now after this, because I'm not. I don't even know what to say. I really don't.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I agree.
Should I send him a message on Facebook and just kind of let him know what's going on, and then we'll just tell him we can reschedule it, and if it is anything on our end, we're going to clear it up. But I've never seen anything like this, even on StreamYard. I really haven't.
Yeah, you know what? This does build up a lot of anticipation for when we get him back on. You know, because like, maybe if he cut his camera, maybe we can hear him better now. Jeff, you're muted. Can you hear us better now that you cut your camera? Or hey.
Oh, there, we lost him.
Yeah, Paul, it's alien sabotage and whispering.
All right, there's something going on here. I've never seen anything like this.
This is definitely targeting. You know, I mean, yeah.
And like I said, it's usually with StreamYard, like there's some typical issues that come about, but I've never seen anything like this before. I mean, he's like popping in and out. And then I saw one time he was like, some weird things have been happening, but yeah, regardless, it's my last hurrah with StreamYard. I'm just done with them.
I don't even care about the videos I've stored on there. I'll just save them to my external hard drive and just get rid of them. Because like, I would get rid of Streamer because I'm about done, you know. Michelle Petro says we need to try Restream. There's Restream, and then there's another one called EVMUX, EVMUX, and they're both half the price of StreamYard, and you can stream to more destinations. So like, we got to check those out.
Do that, yeah.
Because I'll do it on my.
I know. I'm saying I'm canceling. Like, this is it. Like, and it's been a few things here and there and stuff that has gone on, but we haven't had any issues in so long. That's why I was like, tonight is like, the heck's going on? It's crazy. But I just, it's bad all around. And I think that I've heard other places, and I know you StreamYard, even when you're setting it up on Facebook and you're putting all this stuff in, it's like you have to keep hitting it and it's just not good. It's not what it was. That's for sure.
I hope Jason sends me those EVPs because, that would be amazing to hear and to see if we actually got EVPs. That would be really cool.
That would be cool. That really would be. That's pretty.
Kind of interference in the podcast, which is Paulie says it's 3-Eye Atlas. That's hilarious.
Right.
I heard like 5 different. I do shows every day, and I've heard like 6 different or 7 different opinions on what 3-Eye Atlas is. I've heard that everything that it's an Anunnaki ship to a comet to like Pleiadians to like inside a craft and inside of a comet. I mean, I don't have no clue what I just kind of, Jason probably the Rothschilds. It could be. It's definitely probably the Rothschilds, Jason. I agree. They're always behind it, in some way.
So true. So true. I don't know what to think at this point. I just think people, if you're listening to this, don't freak out. Don't necessarily freak out by anything that you're seeing. I mean, you can't really trust the government at this point. That's to say the least.
Tomorrow too, so I hope we were able to do our show tomorrow. Tomorrow, guys, too. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, I was going to say Jeff's back. I'm going to try and pop him back on here and see if we can't get him.
He has a good connection too.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, and it's clear. That's so awesome.
So I went and ran and grabbed my iPhone, and I just go and I figured I'd just try something a little different because, again, occasionally this is like the norm around here. I heard you guys talking about it, and I'm like laughing to myself. I'm like, this is normal. That's, like you said, we don't know what it is exactly. We've been told a lot of things about what it might be, but as soon as we do this, if you watch the show about the drones, drones drop out of the sky around here. They don't fly correctly. They think they're in other areas of the country. So there's something here that causes what just happened with us. But hopefully the iPhone power will keep us together now. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Don't be sorry. Like I said, I've never seen anything like this, so I'm more compelled than ever to find out and dig deeper. I mean, this is absolutely fascinating. Thank you for trying so hard to get back on here because I'm just I'm so excited about this.
Well, I'm glad, and I'm glad that you guys, found us. Like you said, we kind of have been hiding a little bit, even though we are, it can't be hidden anymore, We're following suit.
Wow. Jeff, I wanted to ask you, are there any other legends or history surrounded by the property that you were able to dig up to maybe find out any more information on it?
So the property is an original homestead. So this goes all the way back to the early 1800s. There's been a lot of interesting history as far as the families that were here. But there's a lot of history, again, that we don't know exactly what it is. We find an awful lot of native artifacts around this vicinity. Chris Roberts, an archaeologist, with us a lot on the different things that we're doing here because we have so much on the ground and in the ground here. Ceremonial points, things that we found that just, they're almost precious of artifact. This area was special in some way. A lot of different kinds of artifacts here, a lot of different time levels, time zones. So there's a native connection, there's an old world connection. We have theories that there's a Howard Hughes connection with the runway that's right next to the property here. We're digging through. I mean, I throw you a really good one that we're working on that a lot of the scientists have been working on, which is, when you cross compare Howard Hughes and Robert Bigelow, they look very similar.
You're right. Oh boy, now it's getting real good. Wow.
Yeah, and that's where that everybody's been pointing us that Hughes is Robert Bigelow's dad.
Wow, that's a bomb drop. Holy shit.
Yeah, and just just think of Howard Hughes and everything involving him, and then think of Mr. Bigelow and where he went from Bigelow Aerospace. That's again, coincidentally, I'm a window tinter by trade, and when I moved to Las Vegas in 1999/2000, my main account was the test site. I did all of their vehicles for the test site, and one of my people that I did work for not too far from my shop was Mr. Bigelow and his whole company. So I had connections with everybody there, his security guard. When I property was his connection thing, but it only shooed me in to buy it. I was going to, what's happening now. I did not know that this was going to be.
He's so right, though. This rabbit hole's been gone down, but what he's saying, I'm on board with it. I really am on board with it.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm curious.
To go out and do that, figure this out, because there's a lot of people that it's even since I bought the place, I would get emails that showed the two of them side by side, and then like, look at this. So that's where we're at. We think that Howard Hughes and one of the former owners of this property was Howard Hughes. He was the actual owner, but Howard Hughes was the owner, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
So Howard Hughes is on paper as of being the owner or affiliated with it. Is it documented on paper? Do you know?
Nowhere. But one of the owners of this property was Howard Hughes' main concrete contractor in Las Vegas.
Bravo on that one, Jeff. Bravo. Wow. Oh, wow. That's
that Earl Grey, who had just passed away, his mom had the greatest story ever. She's still.
You're talking about Earl Grey, right? Is that who you're talking about?
Yep. We were
okay.
Going to have a conversation about what reality is, but basically, went for a ride in the elevator after she got off of an airplane from a small little runway in Nevada. All concrete building, which his concrete contractor built a lot of these property, and they're all concrete. So
I talked to Earl Grey before he had passed, and he was actually supposed to come on the show right before when he had come down with stuff. And I talked to him about his mother and her affiliation with some of these underground bases and with the government and some of the people that she knew. So this is all, I heard it from Earl himself. So that's fascinating. Wow.
Yeah. So that's, again, there's where we're at. Well, a lot. We just have to dig. Love, not dig into something, but we're gonna try to do as they had done. Around, we're thinking that there's an entrance up on the upper part that goes down object side. That's what it's looking at. And the object was so big that they couldn't move it.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's
wow. Oh, too bad he's breaking up. Jeff, we got to have you back on for like a full, this is, even past this, because there is just a mound of stuff. This is like one of the most valuable, conversations that I think in the history, because there's so much. I followed this so closely, and what he's saying is so true. Wow. Yeah. I'm just fascinated, totally fascinated.
This is amazing. Yeah. We got to have him back. We got to get a good connection, or we need to go get a in-person interview somehow. That would be great.
Right.
And get an in-person interview. That would be.
Heck yeah. There you go, Rob. I'm all about that. All about that. Wow.
I'm just with Jake. This is the craziest, like, guys here. I wish. Come back.
Yeah, you're back.
That is, again, this makes no sense. What really is going on here? That was clearly just. I don't even know what to say. Sorry for that, and I'm glad to come back and talk with you guys.
No, we're fascinated. We're even more fascinated, Jeff. We're this right now is making me more fascinated with this whole story. And I can't give you enough props that you did all this research behind it and that you're putting these connections together, because this is right down my avenue. I've gone through step by step, but this ranch part was always missing. And now I feel like we're really onto something. So thank you. And, keep going when you can. And then we'll definitely get you back and reschedule you, because you're like fascinating. And I mean, the information that you probably have, definitely this community is going to be very interested.
The folks that come out here, they say to me, where did you learn? And I bought this. But it's turned into, I have a wall of dots that is incredible. And it is an amazing, when we connect them all, some of them are connected, but when we do connect them all, it's going to be awesome. Whatever we are, getting ready to figure out.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And NIDS, for those of you who don't know what NIDS is, that's a whole nother ball game. But you're talking about some serious black budget money projects and the things that there's a whole, that's just unpacking just a little sliver of what was going on. I'm so curious, especially putting them on location, that something's going on. I hope you find whatever is there, because I bet I would put money on it. There's something there.
Oh, it definitely puts out. So it's just a matter of pinpoint exactly what it is, where it
is. Son, unbelievable. I think, Jeff, did you freeze up again?
I think you can. I can hear you.
You can? Okay. I know it was just a kind of a little bit scattered, so I was just making sure that you were still with us. So, yeah, Rob, do you have, I don't even know what to say. This is like crazy. Like, wow. This has been such a piece of it. And I think once more people in the community find out that this ranch exists and that it's, Bigelow hasn't been talking about it he's very calculated. Anybody who does not know Robert Bigelow, we actually we had people that were in Las Vegas that would go down by Bass Aerospace, and they said it was so crazy that you would see armed security guards and you didn't see much coming or going. It was just very bizarre, some of the footage that we were getting out of there.
He's a character, whole thing. And again, in my whole journey, it's pretty neat because everything he had done was Bigelow Aerospace, Bigelow, everything, rocket ships, outer space, all of that. Since then, he's basically gotten rid of the Genesis program. He's gotten rid of the Air program. He's now into in here, everything that's inside what he's now reading. So this far out, like, rocket ships out of there. Now, heads and that's why I tell you, like, that the voice in my head thing with the coin, that is a specific moment, but that's exactly what those guys were. He was messing with something that gets right.
I feel like they're censoring it right now. Jeff, I really want to know about the coin, but it kind of cut out a little bit. So what do you think exactly they were? Can you repeat that again if you could? Because I lost part of it and I really would love to know too. And I bet the audience would absolutely love to know.
that they like spies, remote viewers, they and Stanford research here at the ranch itself. So there's something that has to do with your conscience, actual whatever's here has a direct connection into your conscience. It actually can get right into your head. And it basically, like it did to me, it spoke in my head. So whatever they were messing with, whatever this is, not spaceships, not like that type of thing. Something that it does. It goes right into your head, whether you connect with it, whether they were connecting with it, whether they how to use this, whatever it is, it's here.
Rob, are you able to hear okay?
I can't hear him at all. We're gonna have to.
No, I can't either.
Not coming
Yeah. No, I feel I know, and then well, yeah. This, gosh, Jeff, I just let's see here. That's oh man, that was probably that information right there was just like priceless.
That was one of our best. I mean, besides like we've had a lot of great guests on from James Gillen to like Miles Thompson, but like. Like this was like really good, like important information that people need to know because this connects into what Bigelow has going on. She dropped the bomb about was Howard Hughes' father, underground bases possibly, shit going on underground. High strangeness all over the place. This is we have to get this, and we should do it soon. But we have to establish the connection. We somehow have to. I mean, it's almost worth it. If I could afford to, I would go and do an in-person interview. That's how good this is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we should definitely think about it because this is not only that. I mean, just the fact that they were there and they're keeping it off the grid is enough to tell me. It's very telling and very telling.
Well, why keep this off the grid but promote Skinwalker? You know what I mean? Why? If there's something, what is that? You know what I mean? Why? There's something to
There's
that.
something there. There's something there. And the thing of it is like, this is where I should show you my research. It's insanity. But just the fact that they bought it 2 weeks apart. And then you heard so much about the quote unquote Sherman Ranch and you hear so much about this. I feel like it's guided misdirection. For sure. They probably have us looking in the wrong place. Because now I'm going back through and I'm going to dig through. And I know there's a huge community on Twitter that we all would sit there and talk, we all would exchange information. And this is the missing piece. This is a big missing piece in all of that.
What it could be is like some kind of government shenanigans at Skinwalker Ranch, and the real paranormal activity is that this
is right there. I think you're right, Rob. Wow. I knew that this was so fascinating and that this is but I didn't know it was going to get this good. I mean, this is over the top good. And it's, like I said, there's so many researchers out there, not like just myself that would psychotically go through all this stuff, but there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be tailing on this one. I'm telling you, because there's something. And you look at Bigelow and he's got his hands in everything. And, even the Roper poll for the experiencers. I mean, he's been collecting data for so long. And just to tie to Howard Hughes and all that, I'm like, oh boy, he knows. He's got it. He's got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, who knows the real information that guy has and how deep he's tied to the military industrial complex, That's what
definitely. Definitely.
You don't become a billionaire and run an aerospace company and not be connected to the military industrial complex. You know what I mean? It's just I don't think that can go hand in hand. I don't know.
No. No. And like I said, there was a group of us and one was kind of local in Las Vegas, and we had him going and staking out Bass Aerospace, and you didn't see many people coming and going. They had armed guards. There's like the same cars. It was like a real, it was very eerie. And we're like, well, where are the people? You know, because we had Jeremy sitting out there in the park, you know, and he's going driving past, and, you know, he's like keeping track of the cars that are there and all that stuff. And I was like, man, it's very odd for even having employees there. You would think you'd see them coming and going. And what's the deal with the armed guards? And, you know, they had it was a bit much even for like Bigelow Aerospace to be doing that. And then he was a part of NASA. He actually, the FAA, if you look at the Federal Aviation Administration, he was getting, and they were tailing when people would do UFO sightings or find them. The FAA then was now, instead of like taking the calls or taking the reports, they shifted over to NASA. Then Robert Bigelow's buying this like space pod, and he wants to, and I don't know if anybody remembers that, he was going to do trips outside and basically kind of where the International Space Station was, and he was going to take tours and give tours up there. And I mean, there's just a mound of stuff that were there. And so then, you know, your Lou Elizondo and I think Tom DeLonge, Blair Bigelow, which is Bigelow's daughter, or excuse me, I think his granddaughter or his niece. She posted a picture of it, and then they completely wiped it down. So then we had to hop outside of the United States, and we pulled it off of her Twitter account. And I do have the picture. I sent it to you actually the other night when we were chit-chatting. And so that's a part of all of this. So it's, the space pods. And then he just didn't do anything. He just like walks away. You know, we're like, well, what's going on? But it's definitely smoke and mirrors, you know, look one way, guided misdirection, however you want to put it. But wow, this is fascinating. I can't wait to do the second interview, you know. And real quick before we go, guys, let us know in the chat what you guys think of this. You can light up the chat. If you guys are listening on Twitter or you're watching on Twitter, you need to get over to Coley's YouTube, you know, at SNX Radio, ColeyUFO, or my YouTube, Typical Skeptic Podcast, and you can join the chat because we got a really good chat going, you know, and we'd love to have some of you guys from Twitter over on Coley's YouTube or my YouTube. And but what do you guys think in the chat? Like, what do you guys think about this? Like, you know, let us know before we go. I'd love to see what people think. And, you know, Me too. Yeah. And Twitter, if you're watching, like, get over to Rob's channel, or, I mean, even Rumble. Anyway, like, just come on. YouTube is probably the easiest place to chat. It really is. Like, that's why I love YouTube, even though they ripped 3 of them away from me. I love it for the chat. You know, yeah.
They took my biggest. I had 20,000 subscribers, and they killed me, man. You know, it's brutal. I get 3 taken away. I feel, man, that's crazy. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, I'm like, all woe is me. Meanwhile, you've had 3 taken away. You know, like, yeah, but
still, it's I don't care if they grab one of them. It's so devastating. But it's, you know, and that's what I've always said. I'm like, rebuilding it again. I was like, I'm burnt out from YouTube, but I love it because of the chat, and it's such a great way to connect with your audience. It really is. So, I mean, I will continuously keep going at it, but yeah, it's defeating. It is defeating when they do that. It really is, Rob. And you had such a momentum going, and with your channel and 20,000 people, like, right. I was not at that level on Twitter, or not on Twitter, excuse me, on YouTube anyway. But it is defeating. It really is. And it's like when it gets good and you start building that momentum, and then they tear it away, and it's just like, if we could find something else that the chat, it's like the people in the chat are what I'm sold on.
Yeah, we get some good chat coming in. I know you can't see. By the way, guys, I was supposed to announce this. I forgot to announce this. Coley can't see the chat tonight. That's why she can't bring up your comments, because she's using her phone. So it's not, you know, like, tomorrow we'll have everything fixed, hopefully, you know. And if we don't, I'll run the chat, you know, and I'll log in and run the chat. But like Jason says, he wonders how this relates to paranormal triangles like the Bermuda, you know. And then it says the veil is very thin. There are the intersecting energy points, therefore a lot more sightings. So good stuff coming in so far, you know.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I grabbed the wrong base. I had obviously a charger issue, but I've used my phone before. I've had to use my phone before, and it's run through the router anyway. So that shouldn't have been, I don't think that's definitely not the case, because I did it last week too, but I will have this fixed by tomorrow. I even went so far as to buy another a device to stream this on, just so we had a backup. But for some reason, everything works but StreamYard. So figure that one out.
Jason,
it's done.
Oh, sorry.
What's that?
Jason wants to know what's tomorrow's lineup. Jason from the chat, my moderator.
Oh, yes. We have Patrick Cross, and you'll find Patrick. He's been on. I've had him on. He's a good friend. He's been on A&E. He's been on Discovery. He lived and grew up in a poltergeist house, and he had a haunted guitar. I always tell Rob, because he's about his haunted dolls, but he had a haunted guitar, and he'll tell you all about it tomorrow. But he's probably one of the most fascinating paranormal people I've ever met, and he's got such a history, and he's got a firm standing. Like I said, the shows are endless, but he had two big ones on A&E and on it's Discovery Ghost. He did that too, and like I said, you guys don't want to miss Patrick Cross. You really don't. He's fascinating.
And that's at 7 p.m. Eastern, guys, tomorrow. We were supposed to have a second guest tomorrow, but I'm not sure if we're having it. It might be the following week. And then I'll be back with my regular show on Sunday. I have shows on Sunday and Monday for the Typical Skeptic podcast. So, but no Typical Skeptic podcast stuff tomorrow. So yeah, this is I still think this went well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just to get the information that we did, like I said, I knew this was fascinating. I knew Jeff was fascinating, but I didn't know it was this is a huge missing piece. It really is. So I can't wait to do this one and get Rob. So when we get off, I'll go ahead and open a chat on Facebook, and we can get in there, and we'll figure out something soon. We can open up something during the week too, and get that in there and get it done. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I love it. So is there anything else? Patrick's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And Shane Gurnell, he's going to go ahead and reschedule. So he's going to be on next Saturday. But like I said, you guys don't want to miss Patrick. You don't. And the stuff that happened in this house that he grew up in, and he wakes up and there's water flooding all over. It's just one thing after another. And then I believe it was Kiss. I don't quote me on this, but he did have a big band that they would go around and travel with. And he happened to get his hands on a haunted guitar. And the story behind that is actually he tried to burn it. That's how bad it was. And it got away. It got away. Somebody came up and grabbed it.
We got to get into that. It's not just that I'm interested in haunted dolls. I don't want people to think I'm some kind of
No. Yeah, haunted items. We were talking about haunted items.
Yeah, I'm interested in haunted items because I want to understand how consciousness goes into the item and how it exists there, and if it gets trapped there. You know what I mean? But I just want to tell you this real quick, Coley. Mel in the chat says this was awesome. Angela Collins says she thought it was awesome. People are saying that this was still awesome, even though we had technical difficulties. So, good stuff coming from the chat,
Oh, that's awesome. We appreciate your support. That means all the world to me. It really does. So I appreciate that. So thank you guys very much.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah. Well, I guess that's it then for tonight, guys. And everybody have a good night. And do you want to send us out?
Yeah, so everybody enjoy your weekend, stay safe, and on behalf of SNX Radio and Typical Skeptic Podcast, Coley and Rob, we want to thank you for taking the journey into the unknown, and we're going to go ahead and see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Patrick Cross. So on that note, we are out of here. So I'm going to go ahead. Night, everybody. Yeah, this is awesome. I did. Of course, I kicked myself out. I don't know why I wouldn't do that, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and let's